So welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Eva. Nice to be here.
Terrific. We're going to just jump right in it.
Sure.
What's a passion or interest that stuck with you over the years?
So my main interest for a long time has been aviation. So I've had my own plane and I fly it, including, when I have to come to New York or DC for client events.
So our audience doesn't realize we're in our New York office right now. Did you fly the plane here?
I did not this time, but the weather is soon going to be good for flying to New York from Charlotte.
Okay.
So my next trip, I'm probably going to fly myself to New Jersey.
Okay, that's fun. We'll have to catch up later and figure out when we're around the same place, because maybe I'll join you on one of our trips.
Yeah, I mean, there's a right seat for you anytime.
That's great. All right. What does doing meaningful work mean to you personally?
Personally, it means being able to represent clients on complex transactions and really advise them on how to protect themselves from legal risk, but also to give them broader market perspective. And that's part of what we really try to bring, because we're in so many different parts of the market. We really have a bird's eye view. And, my clients are all investment banks, and it's hard for them to really know what goes on beyond their institution. So the value that we add is we know what's going on in the market, we know how to protect them, but also we know how to protect them in a way that lets them do business in the most effective way possible.
Well, and we're going to dig a little bit there, so when you first were talking to us about coming to Winston Taylor, you had talked about sort of doing some transactions, first of their kind in structured finance for various banks, sometimes starting with the bigger banks and then sometimes also doing them for more regional banks and private credit. Maybe give a couple of examples of some recent things you've seen in the market.
Sure. So we do we developed a structure for refinancing, securitization, CLO securitizations backed by real estate loans, and transferring those assets into a bilateral lending arrangement. So it was one of the first of its kind. And then we've seen that replicated in the market with other large and smaller banks. And the second is innovation in cross-border financing, where we have New York law-governed facilities that also have the ability to take on assets in England and the EU.
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning that, because that was a big part of the synergies and the reasons why we did the Winston Taylor combination, was to really tie the major financial centers together across our offices in the firm. So whether it's Charlotte, where you are, New York, where you still are a lot, and London in particular, but certainly all the other offices where we sit, and really have that kind of transatlantic reach. So we were glad you chose us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to join with the Winston Taylor combination. They actually represented one of the London office of one of my New York bank clients.
Terrific.
So we're looking forward to exploiting the synergies that arise from that combination.
Terrific. How do you build trust with new clients?
So with new clients, I really build trust by being two things: a sounding board for them as they're trying to figure out, like, how can we be more competitive, to get business, but also as a provider of solutions. Like, so if they can we do this? I say, yes, you can. Here are the risks, and here's how we mitigate them. And that's what I really enjoy about my practice, is the advisory role and really helping clients build their business in a way that manages the risks with the need to service their own customers.
And what's been nice since you've arrived is you've really reached out to our partners. I know you've reached out to me in Los Angeles to make some introductions to some of the banking relationships that we might have that might not be doing some of these transactions. And as you're seeing the market change and evolve, and you know enough about which banks sort of are doing some of the more unique, bespoke transactions and which might not be, but might be interested, you've been very much willing to meet with them, kind of tell them a little bit about the secret sauce, and what we could do to help them.
Absolutely. It's part of the growth of the practice really is in the new entrants. We represent a number of established banks, and for them, they really want advice on, specific deals, specific deal technologies, responses to customer requests. But for new entrants, it's very different. They really need like a how-to guide. Like they come in knowing the product they want to offer, but not knowing how to build it. And we can teach them how to build it because we have so much experience in doing so many deals across really across the financial industry and commercial real estate, warehouse lending.
Great. Aaron and team how-to guide.
That's right.
All right. Where do you see the most room for lateral partners to help shape Winston Taylor's next phase of growth?
So for me, coming from the transaction side, it would just be great to keep building on the growth and success that we've had, and both diversify into different types of structured products and to be able to offer just increased depth on an ongoing basis for existing products.
No, that's great. And I know we were talking even before we were on this video about your upcoming trip to London to also provide some of those new structured product opportunities to our clients there.
Yes. So we're very excited to work with the Winston Taylor partners in London to help continue to develop that cross-border practice.
Aaron, thank you for sharing your perspective and for giving us such a thoughtful look at how purpose, client trust, and collaboration intersect in your practice as Winston Taylor expands across key financial centers from Charlotte to New York to London and beyond. We're excited to be doing it together and growing together in the action.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.